Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them today at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there. You are at the parking lot for the DeSoto Nature and Spillway Trail. And as you scan around, the dog park is up there to your right. And we are now headed toward the entrance of the DeSoto Nature and Spillway Trail. Welcome to episode 1 of summer 2024. My name is Randy Cantrell. I'm your co-host here today, flying solo without Dennis, as we walk the DeSoto Nature Trail. This is two trails in one. As we said, there's the DeSoto Nature Trail and the Spillway Trail, two trails in one. But first, we're going to walk this nature trail, which is about 1.2 miles. As you can tell, it was opened in 1983. In the next episode, we will walk the DeSoto Spillway Trail, which is about 3/4 of a mile. And like we told you the last time, many of these trails inside the village, you'll see QR codes for various things, and you'll see a map. Pets must be leashed at all times. You see the yellow on the trees. I mentioned this in the last video, even though that small trail didn't have it because, well, it's just not a big enough trail. But this one is. And so when you're on the path, there are a few different loops that you can take through this trail. And if you just keep your eye looking for yellow paint at about eye level, then you'll be able to stay on course. We go over this bridge. We've already passed one little beginning loop that is just kind of it's exactly that. It's just a loop that goes on the other side or on this side of that creek. And so we'll cross over. Now, I will tell you that this is absolutely one of my favorite trails to walk inside the village. It takes you over the DeSoto Dam, past the spillway, if you walk both trails, which I would highly recommend. And given the distance, 1.2 miles plus a little about 3/4 of a mile, it's not too terribly long. There are parts of this trail that are rather steep, and you do need to be kind of careful where you step. But I would not describe this as a trail that's particularly challenging. You can go however slow or fast you want to go. So we are ascending up the hill at this point ever so slightly. And to our left is the dam. So we're making our way up to the dam. It's a beautiful trail. And it's particularly beautiful this time of year when everything is in full bloom. And again, you see a sign that points the direction where the trail is. So there's not much risk of getting out here and getting yourself turned around and not knowing where you are. As I said, there is a steep incline as we move further along up this trail. Sure to get your heart rate up, which may be a good thing. Please do not overexert yourself. And we are not health experts or doctors by any stretch of the imagination. So, again, you see the yellow paint as if the path isn't enough. But, sometimes, various times of the year, especially when all the leaves are on the ground and that path is not nearly as clearly identified as it is today, then we step over. This is almost always a pretty dry creek unless there's been a recent rain. And as you're watching this, well, it's first day of summer was yesterday. So we are into the latter part of June. We may have gone a whole week without rain so far. So things are dry enough on this hike today. You can tell the incline begins to build. I don't believe there are, on this steep incline part of the trail, there are benches, but there are certainly places where you can lean against a tree, places where you can kind of stop and catch your breath. And you can see roots and rocks and things. So it certainly is not like the previous trail that we took you on, where the path is pretty clear and it's gravelly. This is much more of a nature trail, hence the name, DeSoto Nature Trail. So you do need to be careful as you traverse these rocks and roots. Walking sticks or hiking poles are a great thing, by the way. Would highly advise on this trail to use those if you have need. So we kind of flatten out here for a little bit. We're going to continue our path on up the hill. And we are about to approach some steeper parts. These are parts that by the time we get to the top, it's kind of nice to just stop and look and rest. And so enjoy this smooth, flat part of the trail. You see that big green hill just beyond those trees? That's the dam. That is the DeSoto Lake Dam, and we're going to make our way toward one end of that dam, and by the time we exit this trail, we will be at the top of that dam. Take a deep breath. Take a couple or 3 deep breaths. Because now we're fixing to go a bit more upward. All along the way, there are various trees that have these signs on them to tell you what kind of tree that is and some information about those trees. If you're like me, there are only a few trees that I'm able to identify. So that's kind of a nice touch. and you'll find a variety of different trees. You'll be surprised at how many different trees you encounter in the nature here in Hot Springs Village. This is deceptively, I will tell you, it's steeper than it looks. You may find yourself grabbing onto some of these trees as you wind your way up this hill. And if I had video, or if I had live audio rather, with this video, you would hear a bit of huffing and puffing. Good place to stop right here, grab a tree and pan around. Catching our breath, that's what we're doing. And about right here, we're hoping that we're to the top, but we're not quite there yet. And at this point, you're feeling, how old am I? Listen, this isn't like mountain climbing or anything, so I don't want to over-exaggerate it, but I don't want you to believe that, okay, this is just some really nice stroll kind of it's a bit of a hike, and now we're to the top. And as we go to the left, turn to the left, there's Lake DeSoto. And boy, are we glad to see her. We have now reached the top of the dam. And we look back to where we came from. And no, we're not thinking we need a helicopter to come and rescue us. We're not that far away. Once we get on top of the dam, it's pretty good. It's pretty good viewing. It has been cloudy this week. We haven't had rain, but it has been cloudy. That house in the middle of the screen, friends of the show, I believe it's the newest construction. It's virtually a brand new house, and one of the newest houses, if not the newest house on Lake DeSoto in many, many years. Gary and Deb Bouton are friends of the show, and it is their lovely home. This time of year, the grass is higher than it normally has been, and just some tracks from official vehicles of the Property Owners Association that occasionally traverse the dam by vehicle. Not allowed by private vehicles. And here is Lake DeSoto. This is the lake that Dennis lives on. So when you have seen all those shows where Dennis proudly announces coming to you from the shores of Lake DeSoto, that lake that you see in his background is this lake. In fact, his house is dead ahead somewhere. Water's pretty quiet today. Just a little bit of a breeze, so not much chop to the water. This is also the good thing about most of the lakes here. Lake Balboa, which is a little over 900 acres, there's really about the only lake that, in my experience, has much chop based on the wind. Kind of a nice benefit of some of the smaller lakes So we're going to keep making our way across the dam. And as we look back, there's the car. So that's where we started when the video began. We were in that parking lot. Directly in front of the car is the bocce ball courts. I had to Google to know how to pronounce bocce ball. I wish I knew more about it, but I don't. So the dog park and the bocce ball, I guess they call them courts, are there, and we're going to walk our way over the dam, and we are headed toward the spillway. And once we get over here, there will be places where you can sit a spell. You can catch your breath before you descend down the other side of the trail, which is technically the spillway trail. And we'll dive more deeply into that trail in the next video. Also on the other side of this dam is going to be the Lake DeSoto beach area. There are 3 of those in the village, one on Lake DeSoto, one on Lake Balboa, and one on Lake Cortez. So stations for those who have dogs to clean up after your pet. And as the sign said at the outset of the trail, dogs must be leashed. So we're now approaching the spillway. There's the yellow paint on the tree. So we know we're on track. Spillway, dead ahead. And there it is, the very thing we've been looking for. A bench. We can walk out. This little trail leads to the right, leads you just around a peninsula. The main part of the trail that descends back toward the parking lot will be to our left. And it's down this way. The DeSoto Nature Trail. Coming up next, the Spillway Trail. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.